Akoya. Today I'm going to be presenting Web3, as they call it Web 3.0. Right. So let's go back to the history of the web. As we know it, the internet came to us about 1991. If you look back, internet was sort of used by the military and the academia, but to us as civilians, we had internet being sort of dispersed by this, I think it's a professor, Marcus Brownlee, also, I can't remember his name right now. And what we were used to is, we had Google, we had Yahoo, and Web 1.0 was pretty much you search for something and you get the results. You could not necessarily interact with it. And fast forward 2004, we saw the outburst of social media, so it led us to Web 2.0. So in this sort of time frame, we had what we called read, we had write, we also have interactive. So, I could send a message to maybe my friend over there by WhatsApp. We could FaceTime with our colleagues, or with our friends, with our parents, globally. And so the next generation or the next phase of the web is what I'm going to talk about today, which is Web 3.0. And the premise of this is built on the blockchain. I know one of my colleagues in the class is going to talk more about that. But what Web 3.0 promises is what we call the read, write, and trust situation. We all know that our data has been abused, it's been used without our protection or without permission. But now with Web 3.0, the power is in your hands. All right, what is Web 3? Like pretty much the definition, and I'm just going to read it out here for you. It's the next iteration of the internet, incorporating AI, machine learning, and decentralization for more intelligent and personalized user experience. Keyword here is personalized user experience because in this dispensation, the power is in our hands. And so, let's really toggle down on what applications Web3 is useful to. I have 4 here. The most important thing is identity, and I touched on it earlier. Like I said, the power is in our hands because right now, we're able to effectively educate my data, where it's going to, whose permission am I granting it, and so on. Another interesting use case is supply chain. We see on a global scale what is going on and sort of the challenges we have. Because for you to ship something from India or Nigeria or from China into the US, there's a lot of paperwork. But Web3 sort of effectively solves that problem. Because again, Web3 is built on the blockchain infrastructure. The second piece is gaming, which is my favorite. I love video games. So gaming is a very easy user experience that seamlessly gets you into what Web3 is. Show of hands, has anybody played a game called Decentralized? Okay, so this is a game.
You should have been in my class last semester. There were so many gamers and they showed us amazing stuff,
This is a game where you're effectively buying real estate in the metaverse. I know another of my colleagues is going to talk more about that. And lastly, real estate. So Web3 allows you to be able to do a couple of things, and so it's still sort of underlay of the blockchain technology to be able to see who owns what from the 90s until now you are trying to purchase that property. All right, so let's talk about the pros and cons of Web3. Just like my other colleague that mentioned, I'll start on the con side. Security is the major problem. With every new technology, there's sort of bleeding out a lot of who we call bad actors first coming to play, and so Web3 is not immune to that. So right now, if you don't secure that data that you currently control and you give out your hash key, that's what they call it, I can represent you and can say, this is me. And I can move capital or I can move resources without your permission. Another thing, obviously, is what we call interoperability difficulties. And I'm sure also my IoT speaker also had mentioned that with every new technology, there's also issues with regulation and governance as to, with every new tech, again, governance seems to catch up to every new thing. And so that is another issue. And lastly, because of how sort of in the case of a population density and how we are very diverse, we have early adopters we have the latecomers. So again, for that to spread across, it will take a while. All right, let's go in from the bad side. So what does the good side gives us with Web3? It gives us true decentralization. And so in this case, what do I mean by that? Every data we have is stored in a particular server right now. So Facebook, for example, they have AIs or servers somewhere in the Arctic, but you cannot access that data. But with that, with Web3, obviously, which is railed on the blockchain, you have access to that. It also provides increased privacy and security. Again, there are new business models, and the professor just mentioned that how we evolve with new business models. The Web3 technology actually births new business models, and interestingly, a friend of mine is pretty much building something on this tech. And another thing is, like we said, the power in your hands. So there's an element of empowerment from there. Okay, just to wrap up, let me ask this question. Do you anybody know what this is? Image? Awesome. So you're one of us. All right. So again, Web3 is here, guys. As students, understanding the trend in the future of work, and that is pretty much how I'm wrapping this up, we all can become experts in this field. So, how many of us as business analysts here? Okay, so all you need to do is just say Web3 business analyst, and you have a new job. Thank you for listening.